Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Amazing Nerdiverse. I'm Jeff Grant.
I'm Steven Tukert.
This is going to be our spoiler review of Logan.
Very spoilery.
We already recorded it, but we're splitting the last episode into two, so...
As you've heard.
If you heard the last episode, you get it.
If not, there it is.
Yeah, enjoy it. If you like I said, this is the spoiler review. If you have not seen Logan yet,
don't listen to this.
Don't want to get anything spoiled, then don't listen to this. You can, however, still you can still watch our spoiler-free video review.
Mm-hmm. Free of spoilers. We don't talk at all about how Wolverine dies in that one.
Yeah.
Or Professor X, how he dies. We don't talk about that at all.
Or Caliban, how he dies.
This is a bummer of a movie.
Oh, goddamn. All of our favorite X-Men die. Yeah, so you can still watch that video. Go enjoy it free of charge. You're welcome. And without further ado, here is our spoiler review for Logan.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I saw the movie. Let's talk about Logan.
All right.
This will be our spoiler review. So if you have not seen Logan, turn off the episode now. That's fine. Go
see it.
Go to our Facebook and Twitter and like and follow and subscribe and all that good stuff. But if you have seen Logan, you can stick with us here because we're going to talk about it. It's been doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. It's made money and everything. I mean, it's good because it's always a gamble when they do these R-rated movies. Let's start with the Deadpool thing. It's been released online, so people know about it now. They released a teaser short film thing for Deadpool before
it was really funny.
The movie. It was funny. Yeah, I enjoyed it. The extended version online had Stan Lee on it. I remember
I saw that
before we saw the movie that we were talking about how Stan Lee was going to be in it. Mm-hmm. And when I saw it in the theater, I was like, wait, Stan Lee wasn't the guy that was getting mugged, was he? I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah, nobody does.
Then when they released it online, we saw it, and I was like, oh, okay.
You know what I'd like to see? If they ever did something like that where Stan Lee gets mugged, you have every single Marvel character show up to help.
Oh, yeah.
That'd make me fucking cry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun little short. It wasn't anything new or anything exciting. Like, it was just nice to see Deadpool again.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's been a year. We got so used to him with all of the promotional material for the first Deadpool movie. Yeah. We're seeing a lot of him, and it's been kind of quiet lately. Mm-hmm. It was nice to see the Merc with a Mouth pop up again. Also, one thing
he doesn't look that bad. Like when he's all burnt out, like he doesn't look. He's
so handsome. And even with the burns, he's still all right.
I was like, you're gonna burn him.
He
a
still
little bit
looks
more,
better
right?
than me.
I was like, you're gonna scar him up just a little bit more, aren't you? Like, he looks all right.
The one thing that I noticed right away when I was watching it, I mean, obviously there's little Easter eggs in there, little things like the theater's playing Logan or whatever, the Superman music as he goes into the phone booth. But on the phone booth it says Nathan Summers coming soon or whatever. Nathan Summers is Cable. But then one thing that I noticed when he jumped out of the phone booth, there were like 3 Firefly posters on the wall. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? Firefly is an old show for them to be that's like a 15, 16-year-old show at this point. That's a pretty
popular show, though.
It was, but it only lasted a season.
Don't they have like
it's
a huge
made by
cult
Fox.
following?
It is made by Fox and everything.
Yeah.
So that
maybe they're trying to sell some DVDs.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to. I mean, we did talk about it recently that they'd like to bring it back. I'd love to see that. But here's my first thought when I saw it. I was like, what is that? And I was like, okay, it is Fox, so it makes sense. But then I was like, are they teasing like Nathan Fillion as Cable or something like that? Or even like Adam Baldwin, like who played Jane on that show.
Uh-huh. I just watched the first episode.
Oh yeah,
on Netflix.
Yeah, watch them in the right order because.
What's the right order?
The way they are on Netflix or
okay.
the DVDs because when that's a joke because when Fox released it they put them out of order.
Why?
Because they're dumb. Fox TV. They cancel everything good.
But like, does do the episodes need to be viewed in order, or is it kind of like
Well, when you have like an hour and a half long pilot that's like a kind of like a TV movie and they don't put that one first. I don't know. I didn't watch it that time. I think that's what I know. They aired it out of order, so things didn't make sense. I don't think people saw the pilot episode first. But yeah. But then I realized Marina Baccarin, who plays Vanessa in Deadpool, she's on Firefly. So I was like, oh, maybe that's just a nod to her.
Right.
But for a second there, I was like, if Nathan Fillion plays Cable, I'm going to lose the entirety of my shit. That would be amazing. Because I love Nathan Fillion, and right now I'm just like, I want more. I want him to play somebody significant.
Right. You don't want him to play just like some scientist.
I want him to play. Well, he is in
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Yeah, but that's
in a cameo, like as an alien, just a voice cameo or whatever. It's not. I don't know if he did like motion capture on the set or anything like that, but he's also, there's been tease of set pics from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where he is it Simon Williams, Wonder Man.
Okay.
In the universe, Simon Williams is a movie star, and he just appears in a bunch of movies. So, for some scenes set on Earth, there was a movie theater where they were doing a Simon Williams movie marathon. So it's like him, and like he's playing Tony Stark or something in like a Steve Jobs ripoff kind of movie or whatever. And I was like, awesome, yeah. I mean, but I feel like that's just like a cameo, just an Easter egg kind of thing. But it is cool that he's playing like he's somebody in the MCU. But I would love to see him. Most of all, I would love to see him as Booster Gold. But yeah, I would like to see. I'd love him as Cable too. But I don't think that's happening. Now looking back, I think I do that was just a reference to Vanessa. All right, now let's get into actually talking about the movie Logan. It's Hugh Jackman's last hurrah.
Yep.
I think he saved the best for last. I think I said that in our review. He does. He killed it in this movie. Like the performance, everything. Like we got to see Wolverine in action.
Stabbing multiple people through the head.
Yeah. He stabbed a lot of fools in the head.
Well, that's what everyone kept wanting to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the Superman Returns Man of Steel syndrome.
Yeah.
I was like, when's he gonna do something?
Then they go too far with it in the case of Man of Steel.
That's annoying, though. Yeah. I was like, oh, he doesn't throw a punch in Superman Returns. Zack Snyder goes, all right, how about this? It's like, no, it's too much.
Oh, this motherfucker's he's gonna snap Zod's neck. So yeah, he full on delivered in the action and like that stuff was great. Real quick, I want to point out that Hugh Jackman. They said that Hugh Jackman may have some say in who plays Wolverine next.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's appropriate. He's been doing it for 17 years. I mean, he can give somebody some tips. Just like when they have Alden Ehrenreich playing Han Solo or Donald Glover playing
Lando.
Yeah. Oh my God. Those at the gas station. Those TV things that have like a little thing. The lady on there, she's like, Danny Glover is going to be playing Simba in The Lion King. I'm like, not Danny Glover. It's Donald Glover. I couldn't I just waited for them to loop it so I could hear it again just to make sure I heard it right. She said Danny Glover. I thought that was hilarious.
Stupid.
Racist. Yeah. So this is Hugh's final go. Patrick Stewart. It's supposed to be his final go as well. But in every other interview, he's talking about, well, maybe I'd come back for that, or he's like, maybe I'd come back if he can meet Deadpool. Yeah, which would be great, and it would be appropriate because Deadpool's more in that timeline than the Stewart timeline. McAvoy or Stewart? Or I mean the McAvoy. And he also recently he was on a show with Dan Stevens, who was playing Beast in the Beauty and the Beast movie. He's also playing David Haller in Legion.
Who would win in a fight, Beast or the Beast from Beauty and the Beast?
Beast.
Which one?
I've given my answer. So Dan Stevens said, they were talking. He was like, you're my father, because he's on Legion. David Haller's in the comics. David Haller's father is Professor X.
Oh,
so he was on the show with Patrick Stewart, and he was like, you're my father, so we got a job for you if you're interested.
Makes sense.
And he said he'd be into that. Like, so maybe he'll come in a cameo on Legion.
That's cool.
I would love that.
Right.
Because that's the one little thing. Like, I love Legion. I think Legion's great.
Okay.
It's really interesting. And I would love to see Patrick Stewart pop up in there. Because, he's played him for 17 years, just like Hugh Jackman has.
Yeah.
In just about as many movies. But I'd still like to see, like, a little more with him and stuff. Like, I want to see Patrick Stewart reacting to Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's so great. And I'd like to see him in Legion as well. So yeah, like those two, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart. What do you want to say about those two guys?
I mean,
we can spoil it now. We can talk about anything.
It's such a weird feeling of, like, it makes complete sense that, all right, they've been playing it so long. Spoilers, they both die in this movie.
Yeah. What were you saying? You told me earlier about...
that was so annoying. Carla was, like, scrolling through Facebook, wife, and, someone posted, straight up just said, oh, I hate that Wolverine and Professor X die in the movie. Oh, well. And then I was like, God damn it.
It hasn't been out for a week.
It hasn't, has it? It hasn't even been out for a full week.
Yeah.
And, like, she was, like, really upset. Like, I was not surprised, but...
Yeah.
That was spoiled for her, and that's,
Yeah, I mean, because we read into all this stuff, we read all about this stuff, we talk about it on the podcast on a weekly basis, we kind of know a little more than maybe the average movie-going audience stuff, but we knew what to expect that going in they were going to die, but not everybody knew that.
Right.
I hate when people do that. Like,
yeah.
I try to be really careful about that kind of stuff. Like, you don't want to take away someone else's enjoyment of something. That's such a bummer.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. That's why it's going to be clearly labeled that this is spoiler review.
Anyway, what was I saying? Like, even though it's like, all right, these two have been playing these characters for so long, and it is a very good send-off, it's like, oh, man, it's over?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it does put a pin in it, and it's like, oh, that's it?
I'll admit, we used to talk shit about Wolverine all the time in these movies because...
Yeah.
Of the way he was used, because of the way he was used in his solo movies.
Right.
So he has finally come back around and kind of like given us this is what we've always wanted to see Wolverine. Right. And even though he's an aging and eventually dying Wolverine.
So what is he, about 200?
He's old as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, old as fuck.
I mean, I love the Old Man Logan comic. It is so good. So like an old Wolverine doesn't bother me. Like I like that version of it just as well. Just like an aging Batman is cool with me.
I almost don't like it. I don't like to see the heroes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you don't like to see them vulnerable.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
As far as like storytelling, it's great, but
yeah,
as far as
great
like
for the drama of it all and everything.
Yeah. I love the opening of the movie. Because it's, one of my favorite. He's just trying to mind his own damn business.
Yeah.
Some people just start messing with him.
He's one of those guys you like to see in a movie when these assholes start messing with someone that's minding their own business.
Like they get about a good 5 seconds of like, all right.
I mean, they kick the shit out of him for a minute, and then he just gets pissed off. And love it.
You get that old Wolverine yell, and then
it's the Wolverine like berserker mode kind of thing is never as satisfying as it is when the people truly deserve it.
Right. Because, like, in a lot of shows or movies, when there's, like, henchmen that get killed, I'll feel bad a lot, of times.
Did they know that this is what they were signing up for?
Right, because for some of it...
hands of his adamantium claws?
Because in some, not this movie, but in, like, other movies and stuff, I'll be like, I feel like they were just, trying to just show up to work. They're just trying to do a thing. Everyone in this movie that gets gutted by Wolverine deserves it.
Yeah.
They're just an asshole, and they need to be stabbed through the head.
Yeah. They don't only get gutted by Wolverine though.
Who?
They're getting gutted by a little bitty girl, a little murder child.
It's also it's the fact that it's like, oh, that'd be great for like little girls to look at and be like, oh, I can be tough and cool. However, it's such a delicate tightrope because you don't want to be like, well, look at all this violence and the language and stuff for like a young child.
Yeah.
But as far as like just a cool, tough character, it's definitely a good role model.
Yeah. So you're saying, take your kids.
Yeah, take your little 3-year-olds.
This is what the world is like. I mean, it's getting closer and closer. These movies are getting less fiction than they are fact.
I like that Logan's doing Uber.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much wasn't it? Like he was he was driving a limo, but like there was like the app for it and everything.
Yeah. I think it was Uber without them saying it was.
Yeah.
But like, oh my god, like I felt it for him when like there was it was like something like prom or like a bachelor party.
Yeah.
And he's like looking back, he's like, oh god.
Or when it was like the bachelor party, he's looking back and this girl whips out her tits and he just kind of smiles as he looks back forward to the road. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah. You don't remember the girl whipping out her tits in the back? Yeah.
Whatever.
And he kind of smiled and like he just kind of looked back, smiled, and just looked back at the road. It's like, oh, there's a little thing, there's something for you, Wolfie. There you go, Logan. Yeah, this movie is dark and depressing and stuff in a lot of ways. But for me, coming out of it, it was, oh god, especially the ending.
Yeah.
The very last scene of the movie. We'll get around to that, but fuck, like, but coming out of this, I'm like, I really, really like X-23.
Yep.
Laura Kinney. She's just a great. This young actress nailed this. Like, child actor. A lot of times these kid actors can suck in these movies.
Yeah.
And this movie really, like, the success of this movie really hinged on like who they cast in that role.
Yep.
Because James Mangold said that he's got 3 legs of this movie. He's got the Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, which are proven commodities. They've done this for time and time again. They know these roles that he can completely rely on them.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was the question mark. That third leg, if you will. She was the question mark, and she carried it, dude. She held up her end of this.
She did a very good job.
She was fantastic. She was only 11 when they filmed that movie, man.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Being 11.
I can't even remember being 11 at this point. What were you doing when you were 11?
Nothing. Just farting around.
And I was 11 in 98, 99.
You just made me feel so fucking old.
Yep.
When you said I was 11, because we're about the same age. So when you said I was 11 in 19 anything, it's like,
yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yep.
She's phenomenal. Like, they cast the perfect person. Bilingual.
Yep.
Like her family like comes from like acting and theater and all that stuff. They got the perfect person, and I really want to see them continue with that character.
Yeah.
So while the ending of this movie was kind of dark and depressing and stuff, it was kind of uplifting in a way because it's like, oh, there's like a flower that is blooming here in this, and it can continue to grow in further movies. Even with the rest of that little group of the kids from the Alkali facility, like all those other young mutants and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about the question: where did all the mutants go?
What I think.
I mean, I think it's pretty heavily implied in the movie. But...
Yeah. I had a brief moment. Okay, well, Professor X has these seizures, which I had never thought of before. Mm-hmm. So when he's getting older and this starts happening, like, I was like, oh my god, like if someone with his brain and abilities that starts, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
It's scary as hell.
It really is, because what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like oh god, I felt so bad for him. Like
in the scene in the in the bedroom of the farmhouse
with all the guilt that he's holding in.
Like when he's kind of like I know what happened.
Right.
Like he didn't know for a while and he kind of figured it out. Like, oh my God.
When he says, I don't deserve this. Oh God, that made me feel so bad.
Fuck.
It's still like, even with all that, like the darkness and the sadness, it's such a great mood. Like it's so funny too.
Yeah.
And other parts.
Yeah. Like he is like, like we talked about that. Like I don't know if we mentioned it in our review. We cut out a lot of stuff of the video review, but when it was like that fucking albino. He's talking about.
I know he's stealing from me.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. But yeah, like I will say that while real quick, because I do want to talk about Caliban a little bit because we didn't really talk about him too much yet. The Westchester, whatever.
That sounds right.
The where the X-Mansion basically. They reference it, but they never show it, and
I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah, they talked like
that
James Mangold has been talking about that recently. How about they almost they were planning on doing it at some point, and then realized
it would have made it an X-Men movie.
Yeah, that would have made it. Yeah. He said that they were thinking about starting the movie with that.
Mm-hmm.
And while I kind of would like to see what happened, I kind of would like to see it, like just out of curiosity to see how it would have looked, like especially. Like, it'd be cool to bring in a bunch of the actors from before and show this, because we're kind of paying tribute to that version of the X-Men, the older version for those first 3 movies, and we're seeing them close the book on those characters and everything.
Right.
It kind of would have been cool to see a couple more of them as they close the book, but we got that in Days of Future Past, I feel like, for the most part.
This movie is... I think it's a really great story of, like, redemption and like fighting your inner demons and shit, because like you definitely see where Sabretooth would have been. Actually
I've read into that. That's not where. Okay,
really?
So what we're talking about X-24. That was the code name.
Yeah.
They basically made a new Wolverine. They made another one, and he looks it's
Hugh
Jackman. He's younger. He's got the short cropped hair. He's like the young, like in his prime, like Hugh Jackman. It was nuts. Like it was like in Terminator Genesis when you had old Arnold fighting young Arnold, but better and
much
in
better.
A good movie.
I haven't seen that one yet, but it still looks better.
Don't bother. But yeah. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Because he looked so much like, because when I first saw him, I was like, oh, is that Sabretooth? Because he kind of had the short cropped hair and kind of had the look of the Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth when I first saw him and everything. But that wouldn't have been the role because basically, and I'm kind of glad they didn't do this either. It said they were like, their plan for including Sabretooth would have been, they were on the run, they go to a gambling town, and they might have been at that point where they like go to see Sabretooth for help, maybe. Okay. And thinking about it, I'm like, I'm okay that they didn't do that. Like, even if this is what they could have done, and I don't know if
I would have minded it.
Even if it wasn't actually Sabretooth, because because Sabretooth has the healing factor, and he would probably be alive just like Wolverine and X-23 are at this point, even though most of the mutants are gone. True. He could probably survive. So that was one of the things I was kind of wishing we would have seen him. Yeah. But it would have been cool if, even if it wasn't really Sabretooth, it was just like they cloned Wolverine and made X-24. If X-24 was, instead of a clone version of Wolverine, it was like a clone version of Sabretooth. Right. So you have him included in there, even though it's not the actual Sabretooth that we've seen in the other movies and stuff.
But that part, like when he's fighting, X-24 is basically just all the rage and anger that Wolverine has inside of him. Yeah. And I thought that's such a great metaphor for him to be fighting that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We talked about this in our review. I think I cut some of it out because we talked about some stuff that I felt wasn't really a spoiler, but it was kind of spoiling the fact that this didn't happen. They didn't do the costume in this movie. Yeah. Which it wouldn't have fit. But
yeah, that's true.
Other than the costume part of it, I think we've seen every version of Wolverine imaginable at this point. We've seen we've seen just the loner Wolverine and stuff. Like even from the early days, we've seen the X-Men Origins Wolverine version of it. We've seen him as part of the X-Men. I think the closest thing to the costume, I did like his costume in the future scenes in Days of Future Past. It had a little bit of the blue and yellow in it and stuff. And then we've seen in Apocalypse, we saw the Weapon X version of that really cool version of Wolverine. We saw that. We've seen him in Japan and all that stuff. Like should have killed more ninjas in that one, but we've seen just about every, and even now like an old man Logan-ish version of the character. We've seen everything. We've seen it all with him, and that's rare these days when they're constantly rebooting these characters and constantly, like, he got lucky in the fact that he was playing a character that is like 200 years old. Yeah. That it can always just be him. Yeah. Even if they're going back to the 60s, it doesn't have to be another actor for him to make a cameo in a bar and say, go fuck yourself.
That is
kind of cool.
That is the perfect shot of that character sitting in a bar. Someone goes, go fuck yourself. That's perfect. And then this whole Logan, the whole movie is, you know what I mean? They're both.
I think that movie, like up until that point, like that was my favorite. Like I was like, they nailed Wolverine right there in that little cameo. Like I love that. Yeah.
What else? Oh,
the only thing is, I wish he would have put the costume on at some point because that's the only box left unchecked at this point. In his
Do you think that bothers him at all?
I don't know if he cares, but
no.
But for me, I would have liked to see. I mean, they did show, and the other thing is that costume in the deleted scene of the Wolverine. That costume, that shot of the costume. Have you seen it? You've seen it.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
It looked so fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It looked like comic book brought to life, and I just want to see what he fucking looked like in it.
Put this on.
Maybe when the Blu-ray's coming out, he's like, you know what? I put that costume on when we shot that movie. Just here's what it looked like. Something. Give me anything. I just want to see it. And that's why, like, I'm bummed at, like, he seems to be saying, like, stepping away. I wish somehow they could still do a Hugh Jackman cameo in Deadpool 2, and he can wear the costume. Because Deadpool, and we always talk about how Fox doesn't give a shit about continuity, but Deadpool is like the Colossus in that version is a way different version of. Yeah, I feel like
it's a better version.
Yeah, it's a perfect version, but I feel like that Wolverine, Hugh Jackman in the costume would work in a Deadpool movie.
Yes, in that movie
it would work in anything else. Yeah, and that's why maybe give it another shot, Hugh, one more time. I know you said this is the one last time. Well, one more time.
Yeah. I think he's done, though.
No, yeah, I know. I think he is, too.
It would just be nice. Anyway.
But after Patrick Stewart saying he's done, making a big deal about it, then coming back and saying, well, if I could be in Deadpool, or, well, if I could be in Legion.
What else do you want to say about, like, the middle part of Logan?
The middle part?
Yeah. Or just the story in general?
The story, the deaths. I did want to touch on the deaths and everything. There's some cool stuff. Like, I really want to get the movie and pause it because, like, when in the scene where, like, we're seeing some of the characters from the kids from the Alkali Lake and everything, or the Alkali Lake thing. It was the Alkali Lake in the old movies. I don't know if it was still a lake now, but if you see some of their files, you can read like where they got because like they say like X-23 got like James Howlett was the donor source of the stuff. Like, I'd like to see,
I really like that line of, you know who she is.
Yeah, I know that.
Does she remind you of anyone?
Yeah. Even when he's, like, old and kind of out of it, sometimes he still has that great, like, little, does she remind you of someone, Logan? God damn, he was so good in this movie. Yeah. They're both so good. Like I said, Patrick Stewart's always great, but he was so good in this movie. Yeah. And Hugh Jackman it's the best he's ever been in this character. And oh fuck if I didn't cry at some of these scenes. Yep. Like I thought for a second maybe Patrick Stewart would hang in there a little bit longer.
That's what I thought.
Because when he started carrying him down the stairs
and he was still talking, he was like, all right, he's just going to be really injured, but he's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And then, nope.
And he died on the bed of the truck. God.
That's how Professor X goes.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of the bummer. Like, that's what, like, watching this movie...
You want them all to go out in, like, a big explosion.
Big
like,
blaze of
you know
glory,
what I mean?
like, together, all the X-Men holding hands, like in Toy Story or some shit.
Awesome.
But...
I'm going to write that movie.
Yeah. But fuck, like, it's so... But it feels like... It feels right, too, in the same way.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like... Oh, God. Like...
The only thing I do like about
Wolverine
that...
just dying in the woods. Just after fighting the fuck out of a bunch of people and he's just bleeding out and just... As I was watching the scene, I was like, no, this can't be... Oh, yeah, he's dead. Like...
Well, no, think about it this way. All right, look. He's literally fighting his past, his younger...
Yeah.
All the rage and hate and anger. Uh-huh. Everything that he hates about himself, he's fighting that.
Yeah.
And his daughter...
Yeah.
Kills it.
I don't even think of it in those terms, but you're right. She's his daughter, yeah.
His daughter shoots it and says, "That's not you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that away."
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
so you can die better.
I'm tearing up right now.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was
Did you ever think about it that way?
I didn't think about it in those terms really,
yeah,
but yeah,
like
you're
she
right.
takes it away. She says, "That's not you anymore."
Yeah. Oh man, that was so good. Yeah, shit. I was gonna point out while you were saying that. I was gonna point out like I did like how he had the gun, like how like
yeah
he basically one of the main bad guys in the movie. He just fucking shoots him. Like, it was so great. Like he's a little old. He's a little too old now, but he's still like I'm gonna fuck these guys up any way I can.
That's the part when Professor X died that I did like was how angry Logan was right after that.
He had the shovel and just beating it into the truck and everything. I was like. It was people were laughing in the theater and I was like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny, but like deep down it's still a heartbreaking moment and everything. You know how I feel happy for too? That doctor. Remember the doctor's like, I always wanted to meet one of you guys. And like just the doctor that helped him when she brought it to him, like, and he was like he got to meet Wolverine right before it was no longer possible.
Yeah.
I like thinking about that kind of shit. And then the last shot of the movie. Oh, Caliban. Let's talk about Caliban real quick because we keep getting.
Okay.
There's so much good stuff in this thing. I don't want to skip over Caliban because he was also great. We did talk about this in the review. He had appeared in X-Men Apocalypse, and I don't remember where, but I guess he was part of that. He was part of that same group of people that were like out hunting mutants and everything. He was at once part of that, but then he left that life behind him and everything, and so that the villain kind of made reference to that.
Okay.
In the movie, he was just a great character. I mean, I love Stephen Merchant. He's always funny and great, and he just added a really cool dynamic to the movie that I wasn't expecting. Like
their buddy.
Yeah. Well, I honestly didn't know how he was going to play into the movie.
Right.
But I didn't see anything confirming how he would play in the movie. But it was really cool. I honestly thought he might be someone that was kind of following X-23. Is X-23?
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a villain.
Yeah. But it was really cool how he was just like their buddy. And like, it wasn't just Xavier and Logan there on that, like, that compound or whatever. He was also like there with him and everything. Mm-hmm. And like, he can't go outside in the sunlight and everything because of his fucking albino. But yeah, it was just he added a really great needed element to the movie. I feel like he added a little bit of levity and stuff like that in those scenes. But he also was someone that could look at Logan and go, "You're not doing the right thing," or kind of make him face things. Like he was like you don't want to admit that you couldn't read the bottle. Yeah. Of the pill and everything. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those things that point out the faults and everything.
Well, I am 200, so.
Yeah. Let me know when you're fucking 200, asshole. I forget it now. What were Caliban's last lines? Because he kind of sacrificed himself.
About something the light.
Fear the light, or avoid the light, or
step into the light, embrace the light, something like that.
It was something about. It was a callback to earlier that he said his mom told him to beware the light or something.
Yeah, But like the bad guy that like
it's been over a week since we saw the movie, so.
But the asshole that put him out in the sunlight and burned his face said it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Said it to him, so he was like, "Say it back to you, bitch," and then he threw a grenade at him.
Drops the grenades. Oh man. All right, so yeah, I wanted to circle back around and talk about that.
The end fight. I really liked that he had the little what do you call it?
The serum.
The serum.
That the kids left him. They said take a little bit.
Not all at once.
Not all at once. He took it all at once.
Right. So as soon as they write a note that says not all at once, I think everyone in the audience is gonna go, he's gonna do it all at once.
Yeah, of course he is. He's Wolverine.
I really liked it because he's like, it's like he's saying not only like in that moment, but also to like the audience, like, all right, guys, one more time. Yeah. Like it really was, and like, and he's, it kind of one more time is like, Wolverine is full on Wolverine. Right. Like that little serum gave him the ability to just be the Wolverine that he used to be for just a little bit longer, just long enough to save the kids and all that stuff. Yep. And that was awesome. I did like how the kids, like, he was sleeping, they shaved him into the Wolverine, they were all laughing and everything. Yeah, that was great. So he sacrificed himself, took out all the assholes and everything now. Yep. But he was in rough shape by the end of it, and that scene, just that heartbreaking scene where like she's there with him as he dies and everything. Yep. And then they bury him just like they buried Patrick Stewart earlier and put the cross, and all the kids walk away, and then she just takes that fucking cross and turns it on its side, and it's just an X. And I was like, oh, perfect. Because it means so much.
Yeah.
It also means you didn't die alone.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that she knew of him and stuff like that. 'Cause she read the comics. He wasn't exactly the version that he was in the comics, but she got to know who he really was. Right. And everything over the course of the movie and all that. And it was really cool that she, like in that moment, she's like, this is what I need. Like, this means something. Like, turning this and giving the X and everything.
Like, not only is this a part of you, but this also means that you had a family. Uh-huh. That as much as you wanted to believe that you were alone, you weren't. Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah. All right. On that
note, a little stupid.
Well, he's a little dumb.
Awesome as Logan is, he's a little stupid.
He's a little stupid sometimes. He's just a big old dum-dum. Okay, so if you like this episode, please click like on this video if you're watching on YouTube.
It's not hard to do.
Subscribe to the channel.
One little click.
Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and leave a review. That's probably one of the most important things you can do for us. It'll help people find the podcast, help us grow, all that stuff, help more people find it. Yep. Follow us online. You can like and follow our page on Facebook. That's facebook.com/theamazingnerdiverse. On Twitter, I'm at Jeff_Grants.
I am at Steven Tukert. That is StevenTuchert.
And we are at Nerdiverse Pod as well. That's the show's Twitter account. And go to theamazingnerdiverse.com for all that and very little more. And actually, not actually very little more. There might be a little bit more on the website coming soon. We got some stuff. We might have some people contributing to the website. And
we're growing our X-Men family.
Yeah, our X family. We need a Caliban.
So we got to shave Kaminsky? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Kaminsky might be writing some articles on the website. All right. And don't forget, next week is our Power Rangers commentary. Definitely check that out. That should be a lot of fun. And until next time, I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Steven Tukert.
Catch you right here next week on The Amazing Nerdiverse.
Hit 'em.